Hey guys, it's four collectors. It's Dan and Theo and Sammy and John. But where's Pepino Man? Oh, he left already. We had a fantastic national, and this is our wrap-up show. I think we're going to be putting this up on Wednesday, so by now we're about 3 days or 4 days out from the national. But we're literally sitting in the studio at the national, the official studio. Isn't that cool? So anyway, wanted to talk with everybody, all the guys coming in here and talking about our experience, our wrap-up show. So that's where we are now. So we brought some cards, we brought some memories, and we brought some thoughts about 2025 National. So let me start off by asking John. John, tell me about your number one highlight of this year's National.
Well, since I came to this event card broke, my highlight is seeing the people again. This is a big YouTuber family reunion for me. So getting to see everybody, some people for the first time ever. We got lots of newer YouTubers in the community. Great to meet all of them. Great to meet. It feels weird to me having people come up to me and know who I am who aren't on YouTube. Such a weird feeling, but just meeting all those folks and getting to talk to them is the number one highlight for me. So,
well, I should say we did have multiple social events, including one that hasn't happened yet, but by the time you'll see this, we will have already dominated Vintage Trade Night, because this is Saturday, August 2nd that we're in the studio. But on Wednesday night, we had the, I guess it's the first annual Misfits party at the, what was the name of the hotel?
The Lowe's.
The Lowe's Hotel, which was right next to the hotel we stayed in, made it very easy to get there and back. And that event was terrific. And it's been told, I've been sort of describing it as similar to the original versions of the Thursday night get-together. And then the Thursday night get-together, which kind of, by now, you all know the story, kind of splintered out. And we ended up going different ways, and I ended up going all the way down to Shoeless Joe's with Sammy was there, and Theo was there. John, you weren't there, right?
No, I was on the lawn of the
pizza
the
on the lawn
hotel.
Pizza on the lawn. But we had a fantastic time. There were probably about 25 to 30 guys there, wives, fathers, families. It was just a terrific outing. So, Sammy, what do you think about what would you say your number one highlight was?
I'd say overall that just the experience of just kind of getting together with everybody for the first time in a while. A lot of us do go to Strongsville, so that's another opportunity there. But obviously, the National's known as being just like one of the greatest shows in the country, in the world even. And so it's one of those things you never know what you're going to find. And I feel like this year in particular, there's definitely a lot more rarity that has been resurfacing, and we've seen that with auctions, and we're definitely seeing that here with all the auctions present. It's quite a spectacle, and definitely something that is really encouraging and something that is exciting for everyone to share.
Theo, what do you think? Number one highlight.
Yeah, okay. One highlight. I want. Ooh, no. I think I lost my. Am I good? Okay, I'm good. One highlight for me is right now. I'm just so humbled because I started my YouTube journey about 3.5, 4 years ago. I never ever expected to be in a podcast studio at the National right here. There's actually a window right here. We're like in a fishbowl right now, and people keep coming by and waving. So if you see us waving, that's what's going on. And then everything going on with Trade Night that hasn't happened yet. The National team has been really easy to work with. And I can't believe they gave our channel for collectors this opportunity. So there's so many times somebody came up to me showing their Grail card, meeting somebody who maybe comments for the first time, and that was awesome too. But I was trying to be as specific as possible.
So I think you brought up a little bit, Sammy, is the amount of cards that we've seen in this experience. And all of us were at the Cleveland National last year, and I think it stepped up a notch. And I'm primarily a vintage collector of baseball. You guys branch out a little bit in other directions, but the reality is when it came to vintage, we saw cards and just showcases that blew us away day after
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that you guys did best, and I did a little bit of filming, but you guys did most of the filming of the cases that we saw. But tell me about, John, maybe one of the best cases that you can remember seeing when you were doing all those videos.
Well, I am really enamored at this moment with the Cracker Jack set, and Stan's vintage baseball cards had an amazing array in his cases. He's got like 2 full cases of Cracker Jacks.
Yeah.
So that was particularly a highlight for me to stare at those. But there's a lot of good dealers out there, honestly.
Oh yeah. And Theo, you got to see some great stuff in your recording also, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that the dealer that always has the wow factor at his table is Ash. I think everybody's dealt with Ash. I think everybody's seen 652 Mantles in the display case. So if it's a matter of who had the most wow factor, it would be him. And then in my video, actually, the first dealer in my video I have on my channel, there's a young dealer that's been here for a while, he said, and I wish I remember his name. It's slipping my mind right now. But I was very impressed with his amount of pre-war, his knowledge on pre-war, and some of the oddities he had at his table. So I was really impressed.
Sam?
Yeah, as far as dealers' display cases, I mean, we have a lot of the the big names. You guys mentioned already, mentioned Ash and Stan, and you throw in like Bill Chappell in there, Craig Halbig, J.D. Heckathorn, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to highlight some really specialty dealers that we saw here, like Don Hans, who's from Maine, one of the a dealer from the New England area. He had some unreal cards and a lot of Cracker Jacks, as John alluded to earlier. Is a lot of the Cracker Jacks. He had a Texas Tommy Mathewson, which you never ever see. Obviously, I'm biased towards Mathewson, being that's one of my guys I collect, but a lot of unsung, like I guess you can call them kind of like unsung heroes. I mean, they had some insane stuff. So I'm kind of shouting out Don Hans's table, and also Tony E-Trade's table. I was over there. He was my first table I went to, and I picked up my first card. It was the massive card that I picked up. That we're all going to be showing a card, obviously, but those 2 in particular, I just wanted to kind of throw their names out there because I think those guys in particular just had some dynamite stuff.
See, that's the thing. That's the great thing, Sam, is that I wanted to shout out some guys. You guys named a lot of them, but I still have 2 more that I want to shout out. One is Henry Reynolds, who might be the
yes.
guy that you're referring to, Theo. Is Henry? I've known Henry sort of offline or online, and we've only met a few times. But he'll be at Strongsville next year, and I bought a card off of Henry. It's not one of the cards I'm going to show shortly, but just terrific guy. I know him. I know he's a family man. I know how many kids he has, that kind of thing. So it's wonderful to be able to have a personal connection, but then walk up to his table and look at this amazing array of vintage, and just really, really happy
Just
about that.
just a springboard off that. There's a couple other dealers very similar to Henry that I thought were really amazing, and that's Michael Pike. Michael Pike had a table last year at the Cleveland show that was kind of in the off area that he had beautiful Type 1 photographs pre-war, as well as a number of Cuban and Negro League cards, and just unbelievable array of stuff. And then the second person, is Ed Hans. It's Hans, right?
Yeah.
Ed Hans.
H-A-N-S. Yep.
Yes, and he was sharing with Brockelman. And those guys as well. I mean, just they bring absolute fire. Pre-war stuff that you just don't see every day, and if you haven't checked out their tables, definitely worth doing so.
And the other one, and an MVP for me this year was Philip Gary, who literally wrote a book on Cuban baseball cards, and I did get a fantastic card, which I'll show in a little bit, from him. But he also just brought me into his booth, and we were going through stuff, and he was telling me stories and history, and to me that's like one of the best things. It's like you can sell cards, but if you have a passion for them and you know them top to bottom, that's a guy like Phil Gary. And to me, that was just an amazing experience to have him. And then Orlando comes over, and Mangini comes over, and they're amazed at stuff they could buy, and they made big purchases, and it just felt like just maybe the highlight of my entire national was that moment when all these guys together were at that booth and we're picking out stuff for different reasons for them for their collections. So speaking of picking out stuff for collections, we're going to show some cards because we all have some highlights. John, I know you didn't have a budget, but you got some stuff, right?
I did get a couple items. I did participate in Eric Fourleaf's little envelope game of giving me $5 for a card for him, $5 for a card for myself, and he'll have to show you the card I got him. I've already given it to him, but I'll go ahead and show the pickup I made there and talk about why. It is none other than the 85 Fleer Dwight Gooden card.
Fleer.
It's Fleer. Those of you in Pennsylvania. But the reason why I picked up that card, it is the first card I ever traded away as a kid. Back in 1990, I actually, one of my friends wanted that card so badly. At the time, I think the card was going for like $30. So I now bought it for $5. So I guess I did okay there, but
Deflation.
I have to admit, I made a mistake. He had 5 Upper Deck Griffey rookies. He was willing to trade me that card straight up for an Upper Deck Griffey rookie. And I said, no, I'd rather have the cash. So,
Oh well.
yeah.
We all have made mistakes in the past. You want to do the other card and then we'll go across?
Sure,
What do you
that's
think?
fine.
All right.
So the other one is a good friend of mine who could not make it here. I wanted to get him something special. He is a guy who loves oddities in vintage cards, and I think this one hits a lot of notes for him. I hope he loves it. And I'd actually done research before I even came here of what I was going to target. And I figured if anyone had this obscure card in the building, it was going to be Bill Chappell. I went to his table, and sure enough, he had a perfect copy for me to buy. And it is this right here. 1923 W515 Al Mamo, I think is the pronunciation. French looks like spelling. But I think Doug loves the red backgrounds, and he is going to dig the crazy face on this guy. So if you're seeing this, Doug, it's coming your way. So love you, buddy.
Awesome.
This is like the great hobby stuff. You know, you buy a card for a friend. So I bought cards for me. Sorry about that. I have friends.
Selfish.
I do have friends. But anyway, so I got 3 cards to show, and one big thing that I'm going to show, and I'll talk about the way I got the big thing. My first card was literally running in the door at 2 o'clock because I knew that Ash had this card, and I knew it wasn't going to last long. And it's the 1934 Hank Greenberg in a 3, but it looks like a 5, and the price is right. It's one of those holes in the collection that I had that I never had this card before, and I felt like you got to fill in some holes. And if you can get a card that looks like this, you're ahead of the game. Also, a dealer we didn't mention was Tim Payne. Tim Payne was all the way, or still is, all the way in the corner underneath the escalator, and it's a section of the National that I didn't even see the first day. I was here from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. No, 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock on Wednesday. 6 hours in the show, and there's an entire room that I didn't get to. That tells you how big the show was. But anyway, so I went to Tim Payne. There were a bunch of guys there Thursday morning, and this is another card that was on my list of cards that I needed to fill in holes. Also a beautiful card. Also a 3. Ted Williams, 49 leaf. It says 48 on the flip, but it's a 49 card. And so I was able to get this at a pretty good price because I had some wingmen for this one, so that was a good one. Phil Gary, who I just mentioned before, got me another amazing thing. I never thought I was going to own a Martin Tehigo card in my life, and then Love of the Game Auctions actually has several of them, but they're going pretty high. So I ended up getting a Martin Tehigo card, a 1946-47 Carmelo Deportivo from Phil Gary, and really just kind of an emotional thing to get a card of this like historical importance. And I got it in a pretty good price because the back is gone. And Phil talked me through the whole thing, why it's gone, how he got it out of the album it was in, showed me other cards that were in the album that had the same back issue, but that doesn't matter. It's a Martin Dihigo card from 1946-47, and really special card. So another experience that I had is not a dealer who was working here, but a dealer who came to essentially buy inventory, but also get some cards for his personal collection, was Matt from Providence, who we all got to know a little bit better, and I'm glad you did, because Matt is a life-size personality.
He's hilarious.
Understatement.
But incredible resource, a great friend also, and a great guy to buy cards from because he's incredibly reasonable and he's got great access to stuff. But the best thing about Matt was learning from him. I actually watched him do the thing where he buys bulk cards and he negotiates, and my negotiating skills aren't the best, but Matt's are great. So Matt bought a whole ton of these. It is a print that the Ted Williams family put together, and Ted signed them all, and he got a great price on it, and he passed it on to me. I paid him more because I knew that I had to give him a profit, but the price that I got this for is just insane. I'm not even going to say what it is because I want to let Matt sell his at what they should really be going for, but this is a unbelievable piece. It's not a baseball card. It's not even a Type 1 photo. It's a print, a beautiful print, but the signature on it is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to figure out a way to prop this up and maybe actually put it on a wall in my card room. So those are my pickups. Sorry for talking so long, but Sam, it's all yours.
So I'm going to give this first card the shout out to Aaron, Value Vintage Cards. We give him a moniker as the pre-war pusher, but he made a point that I should be able to connect the dots between Christy Mathewson and Willie Mays, since those are my two guys, and wanted to bridge that gap somehow, and wanted to pick this up. It's the 1934-36 Diamond Stars of Carl Hubble. Something really what I love about this card is the Art Deco style. It's a very a common card amongst the many in our community. Especially want to give a shout out to my buddy Mitchell, who loves collecting Diamond Stars, who's kind of like the renowned expert of Diamond Stars, who actually appeared on Golden Age of Cardboard with Mike, and was really just kind of giving a full-on educational course on Diamond Stars. But going back to it, I just, the Carl Hubble, it's a classic card of him leaning against the gate. You can kind of see like the factory industrial behind him, and again, I love the artistry of cards. If something speaks to me, it's gonna be something like this. So that was the first card. Second card I picked up, also from Phil Gary, was the 1964 Topps Photo Tattoos of Willie Mays. I saw this. Yeah, I saw this at Strongsville. He had it there, and I remember making a video about my 10 desirable cards I wanted to bring with me or wanted to buy, and this was on there. And so I'm glad that Phil was here because I wasn't sure if he was going to be here. And so lo and behold, he had it, and we made a deal on it. He made it give me a nice price, and you just don't see these come up too often, so that's really cool. Third one, kind of following Dan a little bit, not as quite as starstruck as the Higo, but still, I mean, an incredible set. And I kind of thought about Dan with this one because I know how much he loves Louis Tiant, and that is the 45-46. I confuse the years. 45-46 Caramello Deportivo of Louis Tiant Sr. And so the story, I'll keep it brief, but the story goes that Louis Tiant Jr. was the head coach of Savannah College of Art and Design's baseball team there. And at the time, I was thinking about going to school for film and wanted to study film, but I went down to check out the school, and I got a chance to meet Louis Tiant very, very briefly. But it was kind of cool, had a lasting effect, and I thought, if I'm going to honor him in any way, I'll get his dad's card. So pretty cool. The back is faded, but I mean, based on the conversations I've had with Phil and Orlando, who know the set inside and out, that is just common amongst the set.
I do have that card that I got from Phil Gary in Strongsville, and your copy is nicer. So it's a really fantastic card.
But so this is what I was talking about earlier when I mentioned Tony E-Trade's table. This is like 30 minutes into the show. It came right in, and I saw that he had an E98 Christy Mathewson in green, an E98 Christy Mathewson, I think in red or blue, I can't remember, but they were high grade. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way he's going to have an E98 in a low grade, but lo and behold, he did. And so I was able to work out a deal, and I was able to get the E98 Christy Mathewson in orange in a 1.5. Thank you.
Awesome.
That was one of the cards on my list. It definitely kind of just completely bankrupted me entirely. I was able to make moves for the other ones. Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. And what's really nice, it kind of has a little bit of character. It has a nice little date stamp on the back. Someone clearly had this card, marked it. You see this amongst the many pre-war tobacco cards, especially in the T206. You either see stamps of people's names or dates. So it adds a lot of character, as a lot of people kind of share that same sentiment. But that's those are my 4 pickups, man. And I'm really happy that I was able to accomplish this.
Nice. You're up, man. You're up.
Well,
I don't know how much time we have left.
Yeah, what time we got here? How much time we got?
15.
Plenty of time.
15 minutes. Okay.
Oh, we got to 4:15. All right.
Well, we've been going pretty long. Are you cramping up yet, or you
No,
need a stretch?
I am. It takes about 2 hours for me to cramp up, as you know.
Okay.
In one of my 2-hour interviews, that would be the problem, but not now.
Yeah, we've been making sure Dan's been drinking a lot of water at the show. We care about him. So my experience was interesting. So when I did my national preview show on Hobbypalooza, which if you haven't seen, we gave the check to Signatures for Soldiers, and that was an amazing moment.
Yes.
But basically, I got an email from Bill Chappell, and he said, "Hey, I just bought a Clemente Super Collector's collection," and he was essentially only missing a '67 Clemente Venezuelan card. So crazy amount of Clemente cards, and he was sending me pictures before I got here. So I made a beeline for Bill's table, and I had to make a decision. Okay, do I hold out for one big card, or do I buy 3 medium-sized cards and like 4 like smallish cards? And I decided to go that route. I actually went with more quantity this year than bigger cards, but like I said, the medium-sized cards I'm very, very happy about, actually. And shout out to my boys, Club 21. You know if you know. What were you gonna say something to me?
No, I'm listening to you. I want to see some cards, man. Let's go.
All right. So this is a sticker that Topps did, a test sticker, Clemente for Mayor, and that was actually like pretty much #1 on my hit list at the show. And I actually didn't spend as much budget as I thought I was on it because it was ungraded. So that was really nice to save money there. And then I am loving the Opeachy cards. I love the Venezuelans, but I also love the Opeachy cards. And the 68 Opeachy was an important one for me to grab. So I picked that out from Bill's table. And the exciting part about it is I now have a vintage rainbow when I get back home. I have the Veni, the Topps, and the Opeachy. And this one's actually a better condition copy than my Topps one now. So
Let's see the back.
the back is a grayish back. So, but yeah, it's been an awesome show. It was kind of actually nice to get the monkey off my back when I got here, and then I was able to just hang out with friends and everything like that.
I mean, one of the nice parts about that first day was getting in the door and landing the Greenberg right off the bat. And you know, when you start off winning, you know, it's all good from there. But John, you handed the check to Tim, and you know, we didn't talk about the Signatures for Soldiers, and we really should, because you know, Hobbypalooza was an incredibly successful event that we just had a great time with. But most importantly, and seriously most importantly, was having you know, Tim join us on the wrap-up show for Hobbypalooza. And yesterday we got a chance to talk to him, and John, you handed him the check. And what did he tell us that really kind of made me feel good?
Oh, yeah, he told us that he had someone lined up to directly help, like, immediately with the money we provided. Which, if you didn't catch it, we hit $9,000. $9,000 from the hobby community. That is awesome. So thank you, all of you who donated.
Yes.
But, yeah, next year we got it going for 5 figures, right? So.
Oh, yeah. I promised Tim 10 next year, so if we only get 9, it's going to cost me $1,000, but that's okay. If it goes to a veteran, there's a veteran that, and you guys should be proud of this, because there's a veteran out there who's struggling, who got funding immediately when he called Tim because you donated to Hobbypalooza. And to me, you know, it just became one of those things where I felt like, wow, my hobby had a positive effect on somebody's life who gave so much of their life for our country. And to me, that seemed like, wow, like we're going on to like the next level of greatness in terms of like how good this hobby can be to you. And you know, that's one of those things that I felt like we didn't do it. The community did it. We were just the facilitators of it, and we gave a microphone to a bunch of different guys who did amazing shows. And so Hobbypalooza into the National was really kind of a special period in the hobby for us. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of thought that the timing couldn't have been more perfect. There's a lot of excitement in the air, and with regards to Hobbypalooza, and then you have just a little. I think it was like a week or two separation between the national, and so just that excitement, that adrenaline rush, and again, just what alluding to what Dan is mentioning about Signatures for Soldiers. I think we practically almost doubled the amount of funding, the donations we provided, maybe a little just under double, but regardless, it's absolutely remarkable. The community came up really, really big for Tim and Signatures for Soldiers. And, it's one of those things we're just going to keep kind of building on that going forward and just kind of, enhancing the experience for everybody and providing just a fun outlet for, people to either host or guest on a show or, just to kind of participate in the chat. So, absolutely, bravo to everyone in the community. Pat on the back for you guys.
Well, and between everyone who donated, not money or prizes or everything, it was over 100 people involved in that total effort. So,
wow, that's awesome.
And cards, giving away cards. Like the guys from the very first show were giving away cards as bonuses to raise money, and that's the kind of sacrifice you can do. You want to talk about Tim, or you want to talk about the future of For Collectors?
The future of For Collectors. I don't know if we can break that here. Can we break that?
No,
here?
we're not breaking anything. We're just going to talk about general stuff. We got some stuff in the works that you guys are going to be excited about.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, these guys, like, if you enjoyed some of the content this week, if you came to trade night this week, these guys worked their butts off. Sammy wasn't as much in our videos because he was doing all the editing and posting of the videos for us. And really great job, guys. You guys really did an awesome job covering this for people that couldn't get out here this week.
I sacrificed like I did for the interview. It's like there was cramping issues involved. There were age issues. I had to nap probably at a few points, but I didn't. So I made some sacrifices, man.
But in the short, obviously we're gonna hit Strongsville hard next year. We're gonna have another trade night at Strongsville.
Yes.
I'm sure Chris is gonna have another YouTube hangout. So just working with Chris to try to make it an awesome weekend. And I think there's some other stuff in the works at Strongsville. And then we're just gonna continue to put out some great content. I met some great people this week. I won't say who, and I got their contacts, and I said you need to come on the channel because the community needs to meet you that way. So I'm super excited. But why don't we end with something fun? Has anybody seen any celebrities in the crowd this week? It would be a fun topic. I'll start. I saw Bill Simmons walking around the floor on Wednesday, actually, and he just had one friend with him. It wasn't like there was a security entourage.
You saw him. I pointed him out to you.
Oh, well, my eyes saw him, so I went first.
Gwyneth Paltrow was on my plane.
Really?
Yes.
Was she in her seat or on your lap?
Oh, she was first class. Come on. I'm on the back of the plane. I'm the guy behind the curtain. She's inside of the first class. But
that's more exciting than Bill Simmons.
Actually, at the show, did we see any? Did you see anybody? Look, we got some celebrities out there. We got some YouTubers out there.
Hey, Dave, get a picture for us.
Dave is taking a picture of us in the studio.
Double shocker for Dylan.
So, I think, what do we have about? We got about 5 minutes.
Did anybody else see anybody?
I did. I saw. So in the Lowe's bar area, we saw Emmett Smith, and Emmett Smith was kind of like just hanging out at the bar, and he was being very friendly and taking pictures with kids and such, and so it was really cool.
What about sports celebrities? Did we see any sports celebrities?
Yeah. I saw a guy, Mike Junkwax Hero, and I have to mention he's got a newsletter, and if you're not, you should be subscribed to that newsletter.
He has a newsletter? I didn't know.
I know, it's a pretty big secret.
And he hates cold ketchup.
No, is there anybody else, any celebrities that...
It's funny because I saw a guy who looks like, I recognized him as like a basketball player, and he was like, 6'7" or whatever, but I couldn't place him.
I know, I saw that guy today too.
And I'm usually pretty good at picking out celebrities, but in this case, couldn't place them, and I'm not going to walk up to them and say, "Hey, who are you?"
What about you, John? You see anybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I saw Bill Simmons because he was a daily. I loved the Grantland stuff he did. I loved his podcast with Jalen Rose. I was actually a Bill Simmons fan, and Theo was told by me, "Hey, look, that's Bill Simmons. He's awesome." And then he learned about him.
So Theo stole your thunder on the
Basically,
Bill Simmons
yes.
signing. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, okay, so we can wrap it up. I mean, we don't have to go full time, but any final thoughts? One piece of news is that it's official now that 2028 will be in Detroit, right? Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So next year, Chicago. As of now, if I'm
That was 2 more years in Chicago.
Yes,
next year and the year after are both in Chicago, but I meant next year. So we're all planning on being back here next year.
They already got the dates on the website for this exact venue next year.
Awesome.
So.
And we all plan on being in Strongsville.
Yes.
What else? You can do in Philly this year? This September?
Yeah, for sure. We'll
Yeah.
probably,
All right. So,
hit that up.
and John, they don't have car shows in Portland, right?
They do, but they are mostly filled with Pokemon and Shiny. So.
Card shows coming up?
In August, we have a show in Pittsburgh called I think it's called the Pittsburgh 700 or Steel City 700. It's a 700 table show in the Washington area. It's right outside the city. I think I'm going to go back to that in August. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then, for collectors, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We've got some pretty cool announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks, I think. And, some more interviews, some more shows, some more, just what we're doing. And I really wanted to give, again, great thanks to the community, not only for Hobby Palooza and everything you guys did that, but also just for being here. It's just been a wonderful time hanging out with everybody, seeing everybody, and some of the people I've seen before. I'm sick of you guys at this point. But there's also people that I've never met before, and I had a chance and an opportunity to meet and shake hands. Chris Torres is one that I saw for the first time. I never met him before. I've talked to him 100 times, and those are just wonderful kinds of experiences. So, any parting thoughts?
I think we're good. I think
You're good?
You took us off, man.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up for 4 collectors. These are 4 of the 4 collectors. Pepino Man was here, and he was fantastic. This was our 4 collectors wrap-up show, and we're going to wrap it up, so we will see you guys later.
All right.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
See ya.